everybody is a noob. Okay, semua orang ni masih lagi belajar. Just assume everybody have learned nothing about art, nothing about architecture, and we're gonna start from scratch. I love the the analogy of learning how to ride a bicycle. Remember your first bicycle, yeah. Remember your first time riding a bicycle. Um, there is no way to learn it apart from to ride it. Okay, so if you are learning how to draw, the only way you can really learn is to actually to do it. Okay? You can't read textbooks on how to draw. Okay, there's no way. In fact, even all the textbooks that talk about architecture, craftsmanship, art, and all that requires you to do the exercises. Okay, you have to do it. This is not some theoretical stuff that people can just say. You just read some books and then you know. This is not. This is a practical skills because the skill is in your hand. Daniel Najib. All right, let's look at your work. I'm going to share this. Sekejap, All right, so let's look at the work. Okay, what we can see here, a series of lines. Actually, I do require 6 lines, not 5. So nanti tambah line tu. 6 lines. We just need another one. So let's test how straight you are. Okay, quite close. Okay, this is how we test you. So, well, this is my method of testing you. Because usually I can just take a ruler in front of you and show how crooked your lines are. But now in the digital age, I have to use software. So this is a software that I picked to actually help teaching and learning. So if you can see here, the lines that Daniel have done is quite straight enough. Okay, for a beginner, for the first time, this is absolutely okay. Okay, but it is a bit inconsistent. If you look at the lines on the right, the diagonal line on the right, and then the diagonal line on the left, it's not parallel. Okay, it's not parallel enough. So you need to improve so that regardless if the lines are crooked, it should be more or less parallel. Okay, so yang ni pun tak parallel, dia tidak selari. Selari means it should be like this. Okay? Parallel. So try and do parallel lines. Okay? And practice 6 lines. Okay, so and then let's look into details. Okay. Wow, yeah. So I did not detect any breaks, which is a good exercise. Break means whenever you stop your pencil. Okay, usually you just do everything in one stroke. For example, 3. If you have a long line, what you usually do, what people usually do, that's my cursor. Okay. What people usually do is this: is they draw one line, and then they continue with another line, and then they continue with another line. Okay, these are breaks. Okay, in a straight line. And for Daniel's work, I do not detect any breaks, which is a good exercise. Either he did not have any breaks at all, or he joined the lines perfectly. Okay, so yang mana satu, Daniel? Dia memang tak ada break tak ada break, which is good. This is A3, yes, Daniel? Okay, good job. All right. So, I think you need to improve also on the boldness of your lines. So at the moment, the lines are a bit soft. I'm not quite certain whether this is the problem of the camera or the pencil quality itself. Okay, because I'm not in front of you, so I can't really instruct you or detect what the problem exactly is. But what I do recommend you, be bolder. Okay, bila you tekan dengan kuat dan consistent. Okay, you need to put and apply sufficient pressure and consistent when you draw your lines. Okay, so that's what you need to do and improve, and just keep on practicing until you get a straight line. Okay, practice and practice and practice. Good. Who's next? Okay, Amal submitted 4, so let's look at all 4. So let's look at her lines first. Line by Husna. Okay, you guys can see this? Yep. All right. So Husna's lines, let's check whether it's straight. It does seem quite straight. Yes, it is. Ooh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Okay, in terms of line accuracy and consistency, it's quite good. Okay, probably this one and this one is not quite parallel. Okay, you can see here it's not quite parallel, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. But in terms of consistency, it's quite well. I cannot detect any line breaks. Let's see any line breaks. Okay, these are line breaks. Okay, look at diagonal lines. Okay, if you look at garisan yang serong ni, diagonal lines. Okay, we can see line breaks. Alright. So look at the diagonal line breaks. Okay, and this is bad. This is bad. Alright, that is bad. So you need to avoid this because all your lines need to be perfect. Okay? I'm not sure whether this is because of the scanner or the camera, but what I can see here are bad lines. Okay, it is straight, but the line quality can be improved. Okay. Also, when you look at the top side of this, you can see that there are some issues here. The line quality. Okay, look at that line quality. And then I'm not sure whether this is because of the camera or scanner. Okay, so you have to look back at your paper and see if this line is actually consistent or not. Okay, but don't worry about this one because eventually you will submit the actual portfolio, right? And then I can inspect your work directly, okay, and eyeball it directly. So if I were to look at this, Husna, I probably will give around B plus, yeah? B or B plus for the consistency. But the line for the consistency of the line, but the line quality itself needs to be improved. Okay, this is somewhere around B plus. Oh, question. So for the boxes to write a name, it needs to be freehand too, because I draw using ruler. It needs to be freehand, yes, but you can measure it. You can draw a guideline using a very thin pencil. Okay, so you just draft it roughly, and then you can just follow that line to draw a perfect freehand line. Okay, so what Husna did is, I believe, a measured line, and then just draw it freehand. Yeah. So Ahmad Husna said it's because of the scanner. Okay, for now I'll assume it's because of the scanner. Okay, first time. So you got to improve and see if you can fix your or adjust your scanner so that it can uh, portray your work better. Okay. All right. Let's look at others. Lettering. Okay. Lettering is actually quite nice as well. So you can see the boxes that Husna did using yellow pencil. Okay, so that is absolutely acceptable, no problem. So let's look at A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G is a bit kurus. So please check on your G. G is a bit kurus, thin. Okay. I, J, K, L. Aha, M. M should be longer. Okay, because M is outside of the box. So I think I mentioned this in my video. If you watch my video, jangan lupa subscribe. NOPQRST pun a bit not square. Okay, need more square. PW juga need to be wider. That A, B, C. Okay, this one you need just to draw a line, okay, horizontal line, so that you can have a straight and dia ada terangkat sikit tu. So draw a guideline F, G. Okay, regarding the small letters, the square is I forgot. All fonts will have a smaller rounded area, rounded body. I can't remember what it's called. So basically what you need to do is you need to use the square for this part. Let me zoom in. Come on. Okay. We need to have the square there. Okay, can you see? Okay. And that square have to be consistent. Okay. So those are different sizes. So please check on this one. So for the small caps, the letters should follow the square system, but only on the parts where the body is. Okay, for example, for F, it's there. Okay, faham tak? Hello. Okay, so make sure all the squares are consistent. Right. R, S, T, U, V, W. W should be wider. I think M. Should be a little bit wider. W also, I believe, needs to be wider as well. Well, W is wide, but the square is small. Okay, so make bigger square. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, symbols, blah blah. Okay, that's fine. The trickiest number is number 8. I hate the number 8 in draftsmanship. I really hate it. Okay, because even after over 20 years of practicing, I still cannot master number 8. It looks crap to me. Okay, well, when I did it, it looks crap. So one of the things that I will personally focus on is how you do your 8. Okay, so this one looks okay, but this part, yeah, that part, okay, make sure you, whenever you want to end two lines together, you end it properly. So this one, the ending between the lines are not perfectly overlapping each other. All right. So can we read this? Learn to expect less than you would, and this apostrophe needs a space. Okay, you cannot squeeze in the apostrophe here. Okay, yang ni tak boleh eh. You kena bagi, you need, the D needs to move a bit on the right to give space to the I. So the space is about the space to the apostrophe. Okay, it's about the space that you give for an I. Okay, huruf I or the number 1. So you just make sure you have that. Okay. Oh, also a good practice in architectural writing is that you need to differentiate your 0 and O and 1 and I. You need to differentiate between those two. So currently, what Husna have done is she's slashed. Okay, she slashed a 0. That's the purpose of slashing that 0. Okay, because you need to differentiate between 0 and O. And so for the number 1, usually people do this. Okay, I don't know what it's called, but pandai-pandai nanti you buat. Okay, please take note on this one. You need to add that. Okay, you appreciate more than you expect. Amal Husna. Okay, right. Yep. If I were to grade this with mistakes and all, I'd give around B plus as well. Okay, around B and B plus. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. This is really like a YouTube channel. I should launch my own YouTube channel properly. Okay, figures. Yeah. Figures are okay.
Sir.
Yes.
How about the number 9? The
The
apa?
number 9. Oh, lettering, yeah? Okay.
Uh,
What about the number 9? What's your question?
like for the head of the number 9,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like how do we need to agak macam mana besar mana nak.
Well, it is a square, kan? Kalau you tengok kat sini, it is still a square. Right? Okay. It is still a square. So for this one, the 9 does not fill up to the entire square. Okay, so some mistakes, but it's okay. So what you do, well, I don't have my stylus right now, if because I intend to actually draw this on screen, but I don't have my stylus. I need to use my mouse. So what you do is you can draw an ellipse, okay, something like that, and then you draw an arc. Okay, this is a crude number 9. So this is one option that you can do, or you can use a straight line with it, something like this, something like that. So any variation of that. The point is, whatever you do, you should fill up the square. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So Husna, okay. All right. So looking at this, there are some things that I want you to improve on. Okay, we are trying to draw human figures in elevation. So what it means is that all of them are standing on one straight line. Okay, one straight line, or standing or interacting. So you can't have this. Okay, the feet needs to perfectly match that line. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you need to draw the feet to be there, and the next one exactly there. No perspective. Okay, no perspective on this. Okay, can you see? Right? So no perspective. Yeah. You guys need to fix this. So this lady, the shoes will end here, and this shoe will end here without perspective. Okay. So his bum cannot extrude or cannot go over or under this line, and his feet has to match that as well. Okay. So for figures, you need to do that. Okay. On this, on the top side, and also the sorry, on the bottom set, top set and bottom set, you need to do that as well. Okay. Apart from that, um, you need to improve a little bit on the human proportion. Okay. This boy, his hand is a little too long. Okay. So you need to adjust. Look at the proportions. So this guy is taller than the lady, so that's logical. But his knees are way too low. Okay, knees should be somewhere around here, around this level. So either his thigh is so long, right, or his what do you call it, betis, the pendek sangat, his calves is shorter. Alright, need to readjust on that one. This might be trivial, but for an architect, you need to, especially when you do interiors, when you're first year, second year, you'll be dealing a lot with furnitures. Okay, so if you draw furnitures, you need to get the proportions right. Okay, so if you have a chair, it's something that is so typical. You see it every day, but you never bothered to check whether the chair that you're sitting on suits your body or not. So as an architect, you need to understand this, because most of the time you encounter, you find yourself asking the question, uh, what is a chair? Why do I need a chair? What if there is a new way to think about chair? So architects will think about this nonsense stuff. Okay? They think about all of this and then they try to redesign or recreate the chair so that they can give something new. That's what designers do. Okay, designers don't only just do what the client wants; they also offer something that clients don't even can't even think of asking. Okay, they offer something more, right? Okay, any questions on this one? I think my comment dekat sini is Husna needs to improve on the lines. Okay, if you see here, there's a lot of bulu-bulu. Apa nak panggil in English? Hairs. Uh, these lines, these scrappy lines. Okay, scrappy lines. So it's not what do you say? Not perfect. A good line looks like this. Draw it confidently. Okay, no agak-agak, no bulu-bulu. Okay, the agak-agak line is only the draft. So you need to draw and be confident as well. Okay. Question, sir, can we draw the elevation line? You mean the ground? This one? The red horizontal line? Yes. You need to draw that freehand. Okay. Freehand. Tangan percuma. Alright? Freehand. Alright. And then do we need to focus on the shadow as well? Well, if you want to get an A, yeah. Okay. So you at the moment, if I look at this is around B. Okay, probably on the lower side of B. There are many things to improve on. One of the things is the elevation, the fit, the human proportion, the line quality. Because this is quite interesting. Because if you look at Husna's lines and letterings, the lines are quite confident. Very 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 confident. But when you look at the human figure, all those confidence down the drain. Okay, so somehow Husna have to figure out all this confidence that she had during doing the lines and also the lettering have to be brought over when she does the human figure part. Okay. Now what about hatching? Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. On hatching, this is quite consistent. I like it. Okay. The patterns are acceptable. The me Maggie on the bottom part must be improved on. You need to be more consistent. If you want to do this, make sure every line is consistent. Okay. I know even me Maggie dengan Indomie and all that are all different. Okay. But you need to pick one manufacturer. If you want to do Indomie, you use Indomie. If you want to me Maggie, use me Maggie. One brand, so that you can have one same pattern and repeat it continuously. Okay? Yes, this exercise is quite tiring, and that's the whole point, because you need to practice. Your hands need to remember this so that you can draw with your eyes closed. Yeah. So looking at the other patterns, if you can see here, let's look closer. Okay, on this part, you need to control it. You need to control this line. Okay, tak boleh ada sengit-sengit ni. So it needs to be straight. You can't afford to have this. Okay, so try to be as consistent as possible. So because this, interestingly, okay, this looks straight. Okay, probably because it's the boundary, right? So that one looks straight. So also you can see that all these lines are touching each other. However, the bottom one, okay, this one is touching each other, and this one is not. Okay, it's not wrong. I'm saying please be consistent. If you want them to touch all of them. If you don't want them to touch, then don't touch all of them. Pick one. Okay. When you establish a pattern, it needs to be consistent. So stuff like this, yeah, and that, you need to decide what happens to that. Okay. The gaps. All you need to do is just be consistent and confident. Okay, on the patterns. Right. And if you do a series of lines, make sure it is generally going the same way. Okay, you can just draw a draft line so that it gives you a guide. Okay? You can just draw this diagonal line so that you can see that the pattern is going the same way. At the moment, Husna's 8B is going one way here, okay, while her 2B is actually going that way. So dia lari jauh sikit. Okay. So Husna boleh improve ya. Okay. All right. Any questions on this one? Who's next?
Sir,
Yes.
um, we can draw the border lines, right? But can we draw the lines inside the border as well for the separation of the lines?
It's a draft. Yes. Like I mentioned before, draft lines are not considered. I do not look at the draft line. I only look at the final outcome. So that's why if you draw it with a different colored pencil, like yellow, just now like you just now use for the lettering, I will not look at the yellow lines at all. Okay, so it's a good practice. If you do use different colored pencil, I will not look at them, and I will look only at your actual line. Some people might ask, if you can draw the draft line, then it's like cheating, isn't it? But this is a learning process. You have to learn the discipline first. You need to train your hands, then you can actually do it freehand. Okay, but you need that discipline first. That's why you need the guides. Okay, so if you want to draw the guides on the internal part of this as well, yeah. For example, here you want to draw the. I can see the yellow line faintly. Okay, I can see this yellow line. So you want to draw more yellow lines here. Yes, it's totally up to you. And then you want to draw a guide that goes this way, and then the guide goes that way, and guide goes this way, so that you know the pattern can be repeated. It's totally up to you. I will not judge on the yellow lines. Okay. Some of you will say this is kind of cheating. Yes, this is a very slow cheating, because you need to draw that, you need to measure that first, and it takes a lot of time. Okay, it's a kind of like, it's a funny thing, because usually cheating makes you go faster, but this one, if you cheat, it makes you go slow, right? So yeah, sure, use it. Now, carrying on, Shikin, my mouse. Okay. Okay, Shikin, my issue here is because I'm looking at this in a perspective, so I can't really determine whether the line is proper or not. So this is going to be very tricky. From what I can see, the line are not consistent. So if you can see the line over here, okay, versus the line over here, it's quite different. It's the sharpness of your pencil is not the same. The boldness of your pencil is not the same. So you need to have a consistent boldness. So every time you do your lines, you probably need to resharpen it every single time. So things like this, okay, and that, okay, is bad. Okay, so we try to avoid doing that. And let's look at your line joins. Okay, any line break, line breaks. Okay, I don't see much of a line break, but there are some inconsistencies such as these. Okay, so you need to improve on that lah. Okay, try to make the lines as consistent as possible, and if this is a 2B line and this is a 2B line, then it is not consistent, because you see the lines on the left side is darker, bolder, and the lines on the right side is thinner, sharper. Okay, so you need to be consistent on all your lines. So guys, to all of you, everyone, please use the same pencil for the diagonals and one set of pencil for the horizontal. So for example here, let's say you use 2B, okay, and then you use over here, you use, let's say, whatever, 4B. Okay, so all the horizontal lines use 4B and all the diagonal lines use 2B. Whatever pencil that you want to pick is totally up to you, but my recommendation is pick pencils that are different from each other. I mean, further different. Don't pick 2B and 3B, because at the moment your skills of using pencils and also our limitations of having to scan or take a picture of the paper might limit my ability to actually determine whether it is actually two different pencils or not. Okay, so at the moment we have, let's say here, 2B and 4B, then it should be distinct enough for me to differentiate that these are two different types of pencils. Okay, all right. We have another exercise. Ashkin, okay, all right. So, okay, this is quite nice. This is quite consistent. Yep. Okay, looking at this, that is actually very nice. Although 8B is not like that. 8B should be bolder. Okay, should be significantly bolder. From my standard, for my standards, your 8B is probably the same with my 5B. Okay, that is what my 5B looks like. So you probably, your 8B should be bolder. You need to really pegang dia kuat. Okay, and then there's something about consistency. So in your 8B lines, everything have to be consistent. Yeah. So for example here, this line, okay, is thinner. Okay, that line is thinner daripada the rest of the other lines, and this one and these 1, 2, 3, 4, the one that I crossed, okay, are very blunt. Okay, sangat tumpul. So you need to sharpen it. Of course, if you sharpen it using your mechanical sharpener, that the one that you design, something like this, you will come out. It will come out. It will produce with a very sharp pencil. But if you do that, it will be too sharp for an 8B, and it will become too brittle. So dia akan patah. It will break. Okay? So usually, when you go up from 4B and above, I would recommend you using a cutter. This. Use this, okay, to sharpen your pencil. Can you guys see? Sharpen your pencil like so. Okay, sharpen your pencil like so that you can control the consistency of your pencil. Nampak eh? Cutter, pencil. Okay. Consistency, yeah, Ashikin, consistency. Alright, so for this one is HB. The HB is too light. Okay, your HB is probably around 2H. Okay, this is quite light. And please remember, the harder you go means higher H grade. Okay, then the less brittle the pencil lead is. meaning if you sharpen it, it can stay sharp for quite a long time. So for this case, if you go into any H grade, just sharpen it once and just do it. All the sharp lines. This one is blunt. Your HB is quite blunt. Okay, blunt, 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 blunt. Right. So just go for the sharper ones. And for the 8Bs, anything higher than 4B, it's not supposed to be too sharp. So it's slightly blunt. You can deliberately blunt it using a rough paper or kertas pasir, sandpaper. Okay, rough paper or sandpaper, you can just rub it to make it slightly blunter, because once it's blunt, it's stronger. So you can just draw consistent line. Okay, so for this one, I probably give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there 6? Tak ada. Okay, there should be 6 pencils. Yeah, so 4 hatches, 6 pencils. This is probably, if it's complete, around B plus, A minus, B plus, A minus. Yeah. Okay, so keep up the good work. Okay, I think like I mentioned before, this is a perspective, so it's a bit hard for me to actually determine whether this is a square or not. Okay, this is more perspective. I'm looking at this as a perspective. It's okay. So for the first try, it looks quite good in perspective, but I cannot determine technically whether dia betul ke tak. So probably I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. So it looks quite good, quite consistent, readable. I do have a hunch that this the letters are a bit taller than a square, because if this is a perspective, then it should be squashed. Okay. Kiranya ini adalah perspective, then it should be squashed. But this one are all tall. Okay. So it's quite tall. Dia tirus. Okay, dia tirus. Kalau perspective, when you flatten it, and everything will look fatter and shorter. Okay, perspective kan. But yours, even though it is in perspective, it still looks quite tall. So I think it's not a square. Alright, so please check on this one. Nanti whenever you can, if you can take a picture straight from the top, then it will be better. For all of you guys, what I recommend is to find a wall at your house, okay, and buy those tags, blue tags or something, so that you can pin or stick your drawing on the wall, and then you can take a good projection, okay, of your work, so that it doesn't come with a perspective. I think most of smartphones right now do come with a scanner option, document scanner option. If you try and look at your cameras, there should be under Android, it has a document scanner option where it will fix perspectives. Okay, so even if you have a slight perspective in your photo, then it can automatically fix it. So try and do that. Okay, all right. Okay, more questions about the lines. Is it better to draw the lines slowly or just one go? This is a person thing. Okay, this is individual designers. If you're right in front of me, looking at how you hold your pencil, looking at your body posture, I can tell you what way is suitable for you. But at the moment, this because I can't see you, I can't see how you work unless you shoot a video and share with me. Because I can't see how you work, I can't really say whether you should go slow or just go one go. But what I think you should do is in the line exercises, okay, why don't you test it out? Okay, you test it out. So the top 3 lines, do it slowly. Okay, horizontal, take the horizontal. The top 3 lines, use slow method, and then the bottom 3 lines, use fast method. And you see which one is best suitable for you. Okay, even if you are the type of person who draws the line slowly, it's okay. because what you need to learn or to improve on is to make it faster, draw faster. Because all these exercises that I'm giving to you, it's like kung fu. Okay, if you watch all the kung fu movies, after the protagonist was whacked by the bad guy, he will go to this grandmaster, kung fu master, whatever, and they start to learn. I think you watch Karate Kid and that kind of stuff. So they learn from the master, and then they do the wax on, wax off stuff, all the basics, rudimentary stuff. So they have to understand that, then they make it faster. They improve on it, improve and improve and improve. So this is your kung fu, and you have to learn it. Okay, right? Alamak, tak berapa nampak lah Kasri. Okay, very halus. Is this the camera or your lines are thin? Actually, because this is very light. Okay, let's just test it out. Oops. Okay, some of the lines are consistent enough, but this is definitely not. This is going a different way. So there is a curve right here. This is due to the way your hand tucks around your paper. Okay. So if you look at the camera, my screen, gambar, push back. Okay. If you draw, you see, you need to unhinge your elbow away from the table. Okay. That is causing you, if you park your elbow on the table, you will draw this. You deliberately draw this arc, okay? Because your hand goes like this. So you need to unhinge from the table. You just draw a straight line. Okay. This is typical. Everybody goes through this. Don't worry about it. It's not you. It's your elbow. Okay. Please cut off your elbow. Unhinge, unlock from the table, and then use your shoulder instead. So for an A3, usually you don't need to stand up. You just unhinge your elbow from the table or the surface that you are working on. But when you start working on A1, then you probably need to stand back. Okay. So you need to unhinge your body from the table itself and then draw it properly. Okay. Okay. So for Kasturi, I think what you can try to do to improve. Some cameras are, I know you guys don't have, probably most of you guys don't have access to a proper camera. So if you have even the cheapest smartphone camera, the way to improve it is to actually take a picture under sunlight. So you need to wait until about 11 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And then you put it, stick it, you find a place outside your house where you can stick this, and then you take a picture there. Okay, because all cameras, even the cheapest webcam, the one that existed in early 2000s, those things work well under sunlight. It just does not work well in artificial light or especially at night. It's absolutely bad. I think even most current smartphones also cannot work properly at night. Okay, for the camera. So to improve, please take a picture under sunlight. Right. So for now, the only thing that I can tell you, Kasuri, is to actually improve your line consistency and also your method. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this one looks nice. There's some shading, some shadow. Let's look into more detail. Okay, the feet are all grounded, so that's good. So you can see that everything is in elevation line, consistent, very nice. Okay, so the characters itself, body proportion is okay. What happened to her arms? Okay, finish this. Okay. Okay, the body posture looks a bit weird, but it's okay. I'm okay with plus sizes. Okay. Okay, you need to look at the proportion of people sitting down. Okay. For this one, this body proportion is probably not quite correct. So please use reference whenever you draw something like this, because you need to ensure that everything is correct. Okay. The girl is also fine. Okay. When I try to look at it closer, I think just like your friend earlier, try to make sure all your lines are defined properly. Okay. Definition, right? So that you can have a proper contrast. We are slightly different from artists. Okay. Fine artists, they can use a multitude of methods to enhance their the art that they're trying to do. Some of them just use soft hatch. Okay. But for architecture, we want clear and defined lines. Right? You need to learn this first before you can do something like what Le Corbusier did. Okay. The modular guy, modulo, or something like that. So yeah, I'm just drawing this roughly. So if you can get a simple human figure, then you can simplify and keep on simplifying until you get the right proportion of a human figure. Okay. So persons interacting with each other, please draw them full. Okay. For example, this fallen soldier guy, draw full. Okay. You need to plan ahead. So you can't, if you know that you don't have space for his feet, then you need to make sure that, but before you draw it, you need to make sure that you have space for his feet. But I think the fallen guy and his compatriot, it's a bit too big as compared to the scale of the other guys, because look at his body, it's a bit wider, and that is his torso. So if you compare, this is his torso, so it's small. Look at the torso, small torso, and this guy is big. So scale wise, proportionately, it's different. Okay, not wrong, but if you put them together, they are out of scale. It is as if these guys are closer to the camera. Okay, perspective. So we don't want that for now. We are just doing elevation. All right. Okay, please square this. Square it. Square it. Okay. These are definitely not squares. It needs to touch. Okay, the square. So that is a square. So the D is definitely about what, half, slightly more than half. Okay, it's about 60% of the square. This is also the same. G, even G is half of a square. So you need to square everything, okay, so that you can see everything properly and write it properly. So that's a square. Okay. There might be a bit of perspective kat sini, but it's okay. We're looking at the proportion of the letters itself. It's quite not right. Okay, number one, you don't have to. For number one, you don't have to do a square. You just need one straight line above and just one tick, one notch, one apa panggil, counting, just one counting, and to show that it is number one. Okay. Number one, I and L. Okay, L is another nightmare, the small L. So you need to differentiate. Some people use this for L's. Okay, some people use that for L. This is a small one. So you need to differentiate your capital I, okay, or maybe you can just use this instead. Oh. For capital I's, okay. So L, leave it like that, and number one is just a small nudge over here. Okay. Okay, so you can differentiate between 1L and capital I. Right? Oh, you do have it. So Kasturi, okay, you do have it. It's right. Okay, need space here. Okay, you need to control your spacing. Right? It's easy. To control your spacing as well, Kasturi. So there are spacing between spacing between letters. Okay, and there are spacing between words. So these two have to be consistent. Okay? It's not just about what you write, it is also about the spaces that you leave in between writing. This also needs to be consistent. Okay? So that's why I want you to do a paragraph. The purpose of this exercise, where I want you to do paragraph, is because I need to look at the consistency about the spaces and all that. Okay? This has caused some problems before, especially in contract documents when you accidentally leave the wrong spaces at the wrong places. So macam yeah, let's say for numbers, if you miss a zero and you write an O, so people can be confused. I, L, and stuff. So please make sure everything is consistent. Okay. Hatching. Okay, this semicircle, the quarter circle is a very interesting pattern. This is actually quite hard to do. It's not as easy. Are you left-handed, Kasturi? No. Okay, that's very unusual to draw it this way, but yeah, sure, why not? Unless you terbalik yang kertas je. You turn it on sideways, is it? It's okay. So, yep, you need to be a bit more consistent, the pattern, because at the moment from this, I can see that this one and this one is similar. What pencil is this? 2B and 3B, so that's close. So, however, this, and this are all the same. Although kat atas you tulis is 2H, H and F. So actually it's quite the same. And then the left one, 4H is different. So you need to consistently use your pencil and so that it is defined clearly. This is 4H, 2H, H, F, 2B, and 3B. So like your friend just now, siapa tadi? Ashikin, I think. She deliberately used more defined pencils. So the differentiation between the types of pencil, the grades of pencil, are more pronounced. For example, she take 2B and 4B. Okay, so that she skipped 3B because 2B, 3B, and 4B is quite close together. But if you jump one grade, 2B to 4B, it'll be different. Okay, so you can take advantage of that. And then the lines, I think this one is also similar to the other one. First, just do the format first, and hopefully you can take a better picture. If you can use 2B and above for this, if it helps, I'm not sure. This one is sangat tak clear. It looks as if these are what 2H. I don't know. This looks like 2H. If it's 2B, then either you are not holding your pencil strongly, I mean make it bold, tulis dengan confident, or it's because of the camera. So I can't be sure at the moment. So hopefully the next submission just improve on this one and show me again. Okay. Alright. Okay, looking at this. Okay, the numbers the numbers are wrong. Please use square. Okay. Ini semua tak boleh. No. So please improve on that one. But the letters are quite okay-ish. Although I can see the squares, the points that you mark for the squares, but you did not follow. So you make your own rules, but you don't follow. You need to follow your own rules. So B, you have to be consistent and make it rounder so that it matches that. Okay. G is quite good. Almost, yeah. So I know you've marked the squares, but you did not leave spaces in between. So this is one square, I know. then this is another square. So when you do this, the problem is you don't leave any spaces in between the letters. So you intentionally or unintentionally, because it's natural, you've been writing your whole life, right? So you intentionally just draw the letters just a little bit smaller than the square. Don't. That's not how you do it. You need to draw squares like this. This is one square, and then you draw another square like that, and then you write inside that. So that is the space in between. So this is the space in between that you need to have when you draw the squares. Okay? So I know it's leceh, it's penat, but this is the discipline you need to learn the methods step by step. If not, all your letters look funny. Well, architecturally funny. Okay? These are still letters, we can still read them. But for architecture, we want a little bit different. Okay, 19. This the number 9 here. Okay, lots of space. Lots of space. Let's see. Carol Tay Jin Yi. One for all for one. Okay, the comma needs to be placed properly. Should be here. Okay. All for one. Pandemic COVID-19. What the color of the electric sheep you see? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Omega. Okay, lettering. So the title should be bigger somewhere around here. Lettering. Okay, lettering. Lettering. Should be somewhere around there. Lettering. Okay, for the title. Okay. Lines. Okay. Check for perspective. Okay. Right, for lines, you need to end the lines all the way to the paper, to the end of the paper. Okay, and it should be end properly. All lines have a beginning and an ending. Okay, so here you can see that the line is consistent. That there is a proper beginning. There is a dot there, and then we move to the right, and suddenly it's gone. This is gone too. So these are lines not properly ended. That one. Okay, bad ending. Dia macam you watch a movie and then the ending is very anticlimactic. It's like, ugh. I mean, the movie started very well, and then suddenly the ending is just blah. And then you feel like getting out of the cinema and curse the producer. Line breaks. Yep. So you can see here the dots should not be there. You need to be more consistent on that one. Okay. So any lines yang bersambung dan sebagainya, you need to end it properly. So look at that. Some of the diagonal lines is definitely not straight enough. Although I'm not sure whether it is the perspective or what. But this one is definitely not. See, tengok. How about the horizontal? Okay. One more line for horizontal and 6 lines, please. Okay, more or less consistent. Just the horizontal lines are more or less consistent, but the diagonal line is definitely not. Okay, so you need to improve on that one. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Any questions? One more person, please. Cheng Huiyan. Okay, so for this one, this is okay, can be fixed. These two can be fixed. Sorry, I wasn't aware of the size of the figures. Well, it's okay, tapi just want to check on that one. This is a bit weird. This is definitely, that one is definitely no. That is a perspective. Oops, what did I pick? That one is definitely perspective. So on this one is too close to the bottom of the paper, so please next time just bring it a bit higher. You need to put the format, the title block dekat bawah ni. So don't forget about that one. One of the key thing in this exercise is to have the figures standing on the same line, same platform. So for example, just declare this as the baseline, okay, and everybody stands on that, and everybody is on the same scale. So you can actually draw a person, one person next to each other, and they are proportionate to each other. That's one of the key things in this exercise. Because it's easy to draw perspective because you can just focus on one character, the one in the foreground, and then all the rest are just smaller in perspective, so you don't have to draw into details. But now, what about people who are standing next to each other? You will do this quite a lot in your architectural renderings, especially in elevations and also in sections. So you need to draw people, human, consistently right next to each other. And you know that a 6-year-old boy will not be taller and his 35-year-old dad, okay, because it's not a perspective. And of course, here the lines are not consistent enough, so you need to improve on the lines. Okay, if you look at this, all these bulu-bulu lines, the scrappy lines, you need to define this. Okay, I'm doing another video, which I hope will be released tonight, and I will show you my example of how I draw the characters. Okay, the human figures. Don't worry about it. Okay, so you got some of the postures quite interestingly: walking woman, woman smoking, woman drinking, guy standing watching the woman drinking, guy using the laptop. Okay, so if you look online, you search for architectural figures in elevation, there's a bunch of examples that you can learn from. There are ones that are very detailed, and there are ones that have been simplified. So I want you to start from the detailed ones because you need to pick up and understand where the body parts are in relation to each other. You need to learn a little bit of anatomy, right? Like the elbows. Okay, where does the elbow situated? Okay, because if you're standing, you see the elbow, right? So it cannot be too low, or it cannot be too high or too short, right? So there are proportions because this influence of how you use certain tools in the office or in your particular building. So if you want to operate a machine, then you'll be standing, and then the machine will be about this high, right? So you need to understand where everything is in context of each other. Okay. And then sketching. Ooh. This looks quite nice. I like the pattern. I like this pattern. It almost looks three-dimensional, right? It almost looks three-dimensional. Quite consistent. Well, can be improved, can be more consistent. I would grade this probably around, if you look at everything, quite consistent. I can give this around A minus. Yeah, for the first try, that's quite good. Just a bit more to improve, this weird, unusual lines. These guys, who are you? Who are you? Why are you to stand out? Huh? Apa ni jadi? So you need to control a little bit. Ni. Who the hell are you? Why are you there? You don't belong here. Okay? So because they probably belong on this side. Okay? Those lines that I just highlighted probably belong somewhere in this side or in this side. So it's a bit weird. They're a bit out of place. Okay? Oh, question. Can you suggest a pencil grade for this exercise? For which exercise? For the figures. Okay, figure sketching exercise. Okay. For your figure sketching exercises, 2B. Okay, draw everything in 2B, and then if you want to do shadows or hatches and all that, you can use F or HB or H, something like for that exercise. And then you can use profile lines. You can introduce profile lines, which you can use for B or 5B. In my example, in the video that I will show you, probably later tonight, I use three types of pencils. I think F, 2B, and 5B. Seconds. Then for this figure sketching exercise, then you can look at the example that I showed you. Okay. So this one is around A minus ish. Okay. Quite well done. Okay. I think the same with your friend just now, Carol. Yeah. Need to square it. Yeah. Cheng Huyen. Huyen. Okay. You need to square them. H square, L square, N square. Okay. So make sure everything is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And then, of course, use guidelines. You need to have guidelines. Okay, it's okay to draw those guidelines. Use different colored pencil, blue pencil or whatever, just to make sure that all your letterings are grounded, and also the top part matches. Don't eyeball it yet. I mean, you know what eyeballing means? You just tengok je and then you pretend like you know everything. Okay, and then you just do it. Not yet. Learn the principles first. Make sure your hand-eye coordination is good. Then you can eyeball everything. Okay. Cheng Huyen, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. Yes. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Yes, we try many times for this exercise. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so practice makes perfect. Yeah. Square it. Square. Okay. Line quality wise is okay. What pencil do you use for this one, Huyen? Is it 2B? Hello, Huyen. Okay, 2B. Yep. So that's what I thought. So yeah, continue and probably do another one. If I were to grade this, I think this is around B-ish. Yeah. Use the square. That is one of the key things that affects your grade. And lines. Let's look at your lines. Do we need to do symbols as well in lettering? It's just basics one, basic symbols. So the ones that you use often, like semicolon, question marks, exclamation marks, plus, minus, all the basics. You don't need to do well, most of them are quite easy enough. Just the minus symbol, just that space, just do lah. Or if you don't do it in the exercises on the top, just try to include them in your letters, in your paragraph. Okay. All right. So for Cheng Huyen, I need to close this one. Okay. Lines needs to be consistent. Yeah. Sekarang ni it's not parallel. One is going that way, this one is going that way. Okay. So you need to be consistent in all the 6 lines. You need a great overview of your paper. When you do this line exercises, one tip is that you probably need to be standing. Okay, you need to see your whole paper, A3, and then you draw from left to right. if you are doing like how you do your SPM or STPM, like close to the paper, then you will see everything in perspective. Please stand up, okay, stand over your table and then draw it by standing up. That's why you see a lot of architects working on a big table or the drafting table, and they are always standing, okay, because they need to see the rest of the scheme. Only when they do detailing that they will be sitting and focusing on a very specific area of the drawing. Okay. So for you guys, for us in UTM architecture, you will probably only do freehand or also manual drawing in your first year. When you go to second year, you will move into computing. And that's where you buy all the equipments that is suitable for you. Okay. So Huyen, this one needs to be improved a bit. So this is probably around a B minus or something like that. Not a C yet, but definitely not A. So it is on the lower side of B. So I'm going to say around B minus. Yeah. So okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, those are several examples by your friend. Okay. For the rest of you guys, you have submitted on e-learning. I will give an indicative grade uh, on e-learning. So those grades are indicative so that you know, okay, so Mr. Azhar have already marked this one as a guide for you. This is a B plus. So do you want to improve? So if you want to improve, then you follow all the instructions that I have given in class today, and you can replay this back, and then you can just learn from it and improve. And then if you have any questions, ask. Okay. So I think this is the first time I do this kind of quiz online, because at the moment before this, I have no idea how to do this, uh, how to instruct anyone how to draw in an online environment. It is almost impossible. But now having this tool, so hopefully we can use this to share. Okay, I want to use Miro, but I haven't mastered Miro yet. So probably for the within the next week, I'm gonna learn Miro, and we can put everybody's work on one big uh, board, so that you can check your friends and I can check each and every one of you, and I can show what the mistakes or problems that everybody has, and then you can learn from each other. So I think that's a bit better lah. Okay, and give you opportunity to learn from each other, and you don't have to haunt me, messaging me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sir, can I do this? No. Okay, I'm sleeping. All right. So, any questions, guys? So I would like to ask a question not related to this task. Yes, ask away. If we are drawing shadow involving large area, is it better to shade or hatch? What do you understand about shade?
Hi sir. Um, shade is like you color it with pencil, something like that.
That is
And
hatching.
hatch is drawing lines. Is it the same?
What you describe are hatching. Both are hatching, because if you color it, the things that you do, what you use sekolah, if you color it, that is a method of hatching. It's just you don't hatch lines, you hatch very you hatch everything closely together. Okay, so the lines are so close to each other that it becomes a full hatch, right? So the full solid. So the term that I was looking for is solid hatch. You guys still with me? Because I macam putus-putus sikit. You guys still with me, yeah? Okay, all right. So back to your question, should you shade? What was the question again just now? Because I missed the, yeah. Shade or hatch, right? So both are acceptable. What is not acceptable is if you smudge it. So smudge. That is a method that people use. Okay, if you can look at my camera, okay, I have a drawing here that I'm showing you. This is a closed hatch. Okay, this is a very close hatch, so you don't see the lines anymore. It's just one big shape, as you call it. So we call this a solid hatch. Okay. There is another method that I don't want you to use, is smudging. So if you smudge, it will look something like this. That dirt part of this sketchbook, okay, where you take the pencil, you make a mark, and then you use your finger and smudge it like that, so you can have that particular shade. You see, this is unacceptable. I really hate smudging. I think it's a crappy technique for architecture. For architecture, okay, not for art, but for architecture, no. Okay. Any more questions? So for figure, can we use mechanical pencil? Okay, for this exercise, if you use mechanical pencil, I will kill you. Okay, mechanical pencil is an automatic field. You cannot use mechanical pencils at all, ever, at any time. I will hunt down. I will go to your house and I will kill you. Okay, please do not use mechanical pencil. Ban is bad. Okay, please don't. All right. Any more question? This is recorded, so I will send the email. Sorry, I will upload the previous one and this one on eLearning so that you can watch it. Okay. Okay, guys. Good job. Keep up the good work. I will try to give feedback as soon as possible, but give me about 2 or 3 days to respond to whatever that you have uploaded online. All right, guys. Thank you.